Live at 4, this is 13 News Now.
Get ready to pay more tolls, but only if you choose.
Tomorrow, the HOV lanes along I-64 in Norfolk between I-264 and 564 become express toll lanes. 13 News Now reporter Ernie LeBeau is here to explain what it all means for drivers.
Yes, starting tomorrow morning during peak driving times, you'll actually need an Easy Pass transponder, either like this or the Easy Pass Transponder Flex, to drive in those HOV lanes along 64, which are now being called the 64 Express lanes. I want to break down how all this really works. So basically, from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., you can travel in the westbound side I-64 Express lanes. You can also travel in them from 2 to 6 p.m., but this time heading eastbound. Now, this is only Monday through Friday, and you must have an Easy Pass transponder. Now, if you have one of those Easy Pass transponders, the flex ones, you can actually switch it to the HOV mode and ride in the express lanes for free. But you have to be riding with 2 or more people in your car. Otherwise, you'll be charged just another type of fee to your Easy Pass account. Now, VDOT says this is just another option to really get people moving along I-64. Take a listen.
We're trying to move people. We're giving them choices. This is another travel choice beginning tomorrow. There will be free general purpose lanes.
And coming up at 5, I'll kind of break down how exactly you'll be charged a rate along those express lanes with something that VDOT is calling dynamic pricing. Now, that's the latest here in Norfolk. I'm Ernie LeBeau, 13 News Now.
All right now, temperatures across the 7 cities, a lot warmer than what we've been having, and the snow on the ground is melting.
So, how warm will it get, and when will it change again? That's inevitable, right, Evan?
It is. Change is always inevitable, but we'll look at temperatures warming up into the 60s by later this week. But our big concern tonight will be temperatures dropping back below freezing, causing some refreezing of some of that slush that's already started to melt today. But look at these current temperatures. It's been quite a while since we've seen 50s on the map. 55 in Wakefield and Franklin, 52 in Williamsburg. A little bit cooler near the coastline, 46 in Norfolk, 42 Melfa, and 47 degrees down in Currituck. But again, our big concern will be later tonight if we get some refreezing of some of that slush out there. So by 8 p.m., temperatures still above freezing. Midnight about 33, but it's into tomorrow morning for that rush hour and that commute. 5 a.m. temperatures below freezing. Same thing at 8 a.m. And this is near the coastline. Inland spots will likely be back into the 20s later tonight. So that really gives us some pause for concern about some issues with some black ice coming up. So again, snow did melt today, and that slush will likely refreeze tonight, particularly on bridges and overpasses. And of course, those back roads and those side roads already still have a layer of ice on them. And again, kind of melted just a little bit, but we are looking once again for some black ice possible once again tonight. Again, warmer temperatures in the extended forecast and a big drop by early next week. Details on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, snow and salt runoff into the Chesapeake Bay is normally a concern this time of year. A researcher at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science says the saltiness of the water is so high at the mouth of the bay that salt runoff from the road does not have a huge impact on the bay. However, the biggest impact happens when salt reaches fresh water. It then has the ability to harm freshwater animals and the chemistry of the water.
Over time, that can increase the long-term low-level salinity of freshwaters, making them less suitable for not only the organisms that typically live there, but for anadromous fish, for example.
There are programs at VIMS to reduce the amount of toxins released in the bay. One way is by capturing the pollutants before they reach the water. Well, right now, cities across Hampton Roads are still cleaning up after the blizzard.
And some spots it is snow and ice. Other spots it is slush. 13 News Now reporter Elise Brown spoke with Norfolk Emergency Management on the aftermath of the snowstorm.
Norfolk Emergency Preparedness and Response Head Jim Reddick is constantly evaluating how the city handles extreme situations.
There will be an after-action report. We'll highlight the things that have gone well, and we'll address the things that we need to improve.
Mother Nature dumped several inches of snow across the area.
The forecasts kept changing for the worse. Norfolk
crews worked in 12-hour shifts using brine, salt, and sand. The ice beneath the snow was a challenge to plows.
You can only plow, to a certain degree, but if there's so much ice, it's not going to go anywhere.
We asked Reddick if he thinks the city should take a look at buying more snow removal equipment. The city has 22 plows and 17 spreaders.
There's always the talk about having more investment in the equipment, and that's a conversation that we're willing to have. It's all about the climatology, the infrequency of the event, the willingness of the taxpayer to invest more in that.
What the city doesn't plow, neighborhood roads. A spokeswoman says it's because plowing equipment is large and streets narrow. In the coming days, Reddick wants to hear from the community on what they feel could be improved. However, from plow operators to those helping the homeless, he says he's extremely proud.
The coordination, again, between professional and volunteer, how it all comes together, I think they did a fantastic job.
In Norfolk, Elise Brown, 13 News Now.
We have new information on the death of a Chesterfield girl who was killed while sledding. Police do not expect to charge the driver of the truck that struck the 9-year-old. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. The girl was sledding down a driveway last week when she slid into a road and was hit by a pickup truck. She was taken to a hospital where she later died. Officers say the driver immediately stopped.
Some Virginia Beach city leaders are trying to get rid of anti-begging laws. Tonight, City Council will vote on removing an ordinance. The current rule prohibits begging on the streets and beaches. Some say the rule just won't hold up in court if challenged.
I don't donate to people that just come up and give you money on this, want money from the street.
Panhandling is sometimes intimidating. You feel like you are being invaded. People feel very uncomfortable.
Other cities in Hampton Roads are also changing their panhandling laws. Newport News stopped cracking down, but Hampton doubled down on their rules. Last month, Chesapeake enacted new rules that limited where panhandlers can collect cash.
Virginia Beach City Council will also update the public on the plan for the Central Beach Entertainment District. It includes the old Dome site. Venture Realty Group and Virginia Beach native and singer-producer Pharrell Williams want to build a surf park there. On January 31st, a public workshop will be held where you can comment on the proposal. There will also be an online survey.
State regulators want to make sure Virginia's utility customers benefit from a corporate tax cut signed into law last month. The Virginia State Corporation Commission ordered electricity, gas, and water companies to quantify the tax savings on their books. In 2015, the legislature passed a base rate freeze for Dominion Energy, Virginia, and Appalachian Power. Last month, the commission's staff told lawmakers cutting the federal corporate income tax to 20% would save Dominion Energy Virginia about $165 million a year.
Right.